All right, everybody, welcome back to the bench. Today we're going to go ahead and talk about the EOTECH EFLX. EOTECH's answer to a ton of it. Let's just say, look, I'm going to go ahead and state that I wanted to love this optic, and I can't. There's a few reasons. Before we get into those reasons, huge shout out to Brownells. They did send out the slide and the optic for review. Slide's been holding strong. It's a Delta Point Pro cut slide. I've had no malfunctions with this slide. It works fantastic. I love it. It works great. The optic, on the other hand, we'll get into that in a second. Use code TRIGGERED over at Brownells. Awesome. Save you 10% on anything 150 or more. Go head on over to TAC 11. TAC 11 will also be a thing in here. They're a body armor company. If you buy anything from them, I highly suggest the Noontime Carrier. It is a 12-ounce plate carrier. Add 2 plates that they also make, and holy crap, you have a sub 6 pound fully kitted plate carrier with special threat plates. They are fantastic. They make a great product. So go head on over there, check them out. Awesome people. Use code STS10, save yourself 10% on anything you purchase over there. And if you make a purchase, you'll get a free shirt. So there you go. I don't know how long that code's going to last. So, don't fight me if in like 8 months you go to use that code and it doesn't work. I'm just letting you guys know it's going to work for now. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and state one other thing. I'm not trying to crap on EOTECH. I like EOTECH. I wanted to love this optic. I really did. I've gone through 3 batteries in this optic. I've only owned this optic, I think, for 6 months. Maybe a little longer. I'll find my original purchase date and I'll tell you the exact date and then all that. But no, I'm not going to lie. I'm not a huge fan of this optic anymore. I wanted to love this optic. The first major thing that annoyed me was the battery life. It only lasted 3 months. Batteries in this are only lasting 3 months. But here's the other weird thing. I went to, just before my competition, I had replaced the battery, put in a new battery. Then yeah, it's not working. The battery now, it's so low. I highly doubt you'll be able to see this. Wait, no, I don't think you're going to be able to see it. Do you see how faint that is? That is on full brightness. It doesn't turn up any more than that, and I can't. Yeah, it's so faint. You can literally see just a little bit right there. Like that's on full brightness. It doesn't get any better than that. I'm just a little disappointed in that. I don't know why it's now deciding to eat through batteries. I'm running decent quality ones. I mean Amazon, but I'm not. They're not energy. Wait a minute. That was an Energizer battery in there. Anyway, that's one of the major things. Number 2, it did lose 0 in the middle of a match. I was at a match. I've fallen on my holster, but it's a Safariland, and I've never lost 0 in a pistol optic before. But this was shooting 6 inches low when I went to go reshoot. And I'm not understanding how that happened. It hasn't done it since. I did drop this on purpose just to see what would happen. And it's taken some spills. It's not been lightly used. It has been EDC'd a lot. It is not a babied optic. But I think if you're going to build a pistol optic, it's got to stand pistol recoil. It should stand kind of a lot of other things too. And it's not doing that. I'm pretty sure I've got over 1,500 rounds with this optic on here, if not more. And 1,500 rounds is not a lot of ammo. Now, granted, it's in 6 months, so it's definitely more than 1,500, but we're just going to go with the baseline. This has been a travesty for me. I have wanted to love this optic with everything that I have. I am so disappointed in its lack of performance, and just it does not do well. I don't know what it is. You use it. I mean, transitioning targets, doing all that, there is no problem in the actual use of the optic, other than it did lose 0 one time. I've dropped it since then. It's been beat up. I mean, it's not like I'm babying the optic, but then again, I'm not abusing it either. It's just normal wear and tear for someone who EDCs a Glock 17 with what would essentially be a smaller Delta Point. It's okay, but here's the thing. I almost trust this more I literally trust this more. I have not taken the battery out of this guy in a long time. I trust this optic more than this. And that says something to me. That speaks volumes to me, because I'm not here to crap on EOTech. I think that this should be constructive criticism. You made a 6 MOA dot. You claimed 20,000 hours of battery life. I'm pretty sure I've not gotten that. Like, I'm pretty sure I've never even come close to 20,000 hours of battery life. And I don't know if that setting, I'd have to look in the manual, but I don't know if that setting is the 4-hour only mode. And if that is, then no, I think that's ridiculous. It is not bright enough sometimes. At first, when you put a fresh new battery in, it's fine. Give it about a month and you're going to start to see it diminishing. Like, you go to turn it up. Like, when I ran my last match, it was low on battery. I could tell in between my first and second stage, I swapped out my battery. And yeah, it got better and it's brighter, but then you give it another month and it's gonna dim down again. And I don't know what happened now. Like, I'm pretty sure it is, I don't know if the battery I put in it, maybe I'd used it before or something. I'm not gonna go ahead and state that. I don't have enough conclusive evidence. But the EOTECH EFLX is definitely something that has been a big disappointment for me. And EOTECH, I hope you take this as constructive criticism. I'm not attacking you. If you come out with a version 2, I would love to test the version 2. I like the Delta Point Pro footprint. I know there are a lot of people who complain about that, but the RMR footprint and the Delta Point footprint are two of the mainstay footprints that you're going to get in optics. I mean, those are two really good ones, just like with the RMRCC or RMSC cuts. Those are the two like main footprints you're going to get in smaller single stack firearms and things like that. I am just going to go ahead and state that's not an issue with me. The issue that I'm getting is purely, I think, has to do with, I don't think that this optic was tested enough before it was put out. I think it was rushed. I think that there are maybe not good quality parts. There's just certain things that it doesn't seem okay to me. And maybe that's just me, and I am personally disappointed. If EOTECH ever comes out with a revision 2, I will wholly get a hold of that. I will purchase it with my own money. I will test it again, because this version right here, the EFLX with a 6 MOA dot, yeah, not good. Maybe the 3 MOA is a lot better. I can probably state that. I do know a couple people who have run the 3 MOA and they love that. But for competition, the 6 MOA is kind of where that's at, especially, transitioning targets and doing anything. I will say a couple good points to the EOTECH, a couple good points. It does not have any frame rate refresh issues that I've seen. I like transitioning and all that. Like, I never see a flicker in the dot. There's no issue there. And running it all the way up on its top brightness, not a problem. It does not bloom like a Holosun. It does have extremely clear glass, which is a part of the reason why it has the crappiest battery life, I'm pretty sure, because it has to be extremely bright. I honestly think EOTECH, if you were to go and make a revision 2, I will purchase that light, or if you want to send it out, by all means. But this is not up to snuff. This is not. If you're a police officer and you've bought this for duty use, good luck, man. Make sure you check it every day, and hopefully you don't have to make that shot that you might send into somebody else because it lost 0 or did anything like that. I will say Sage Dynamics did come out with his review a while back, and I did watch that review, but this has nothing to do with what he's gone through with his. He put his on a 320 and it lost 0 because it's a SIG. I'm going to go ahead and state I'm not a big fan of SIGs. I'd like the 226 and the 229, both iconic firearms, but whatever the 320 series is and the 365 is just awful garbage and not cool. SIG just made the Springfield Echelon before Springfield made it, and that's all I will say. Not a good gun. Anyway, sorry for that tangent. I've not had any loss of anything backing out. These are Loctited in there. In fact, I don't know if they're going to strip when I try to get them out. That'll be another fun thing I'll have to check. It does have 4 lugs on the slide, which in fact I'll take off right now and show you. All right, so I have loosened this up. Bam, comes off. 4 locking lugs down there on that slide, which, Delta Point Pro an incredibly good optic that I have not had the chance to review, but everyone who I know has one says that it's good. I'm just going to go ahead and state I don't think the slide is at all why it lost 0. It did not. None of these screws were ever out of place at any point in time. And, you know, I will say it has worked when I've needed it to work, but at the same time, it did fail in the middle of a competition. So I guess it technically did, you know, make your own points about that. I just think that this was a bad decision on EOTECH's part. And yeah, a lot of people say they hate the branding and a lot of other things. It is a chunky pistol optic compared to other pistol optics. But yeah, I mean, that's it. That's all I have for you guys. I really hope you enjoyed this. I'm not trying to crap on EOTECH, and I'm not trying to say that they're doing something wrong, but they did fail with this optic. This optic is no good, no bueno, and I do not recommend this light. If EOTECH, if you come out with a revision 2, I will check it out. I promise you, I will pay my own money and I will get it. But I'm not going to do this anymore. I am sorry, EOTECH. I don't mean to throw you under the bus, and there's not a lot of companies out there that have the prestige that EOTECH does, but this is going to crash your brand very hard, very quickly. You did put out a subpar product. I do apologize, but that is what it is. And to all the EOTECH fanboys out there, I am an EOTECH fanboy as well. I have an EXPS3. I love that optic. It is a great optic. It needs to be always on. But yeah, this, no good. Sorry, I hope I didn't burst everybody's bubble. I hope I didn't annoy anybody. And if you're screaming and crying because I said negative things, you need to go see a therapist immediately, because you should not be this attached to a product. Enjoy, guys. As always, be a hoodlum.
That's a blooper.